having a good old conversation here.
Yeah.
Man. I lost track of the time.
That's how it goes, dog.
Lost 2 minutes here.
What is
Let's see here.
the headphones are like new or something? Because they're like
Loud.
Yeah,
they're loud.
Yeah, them things is popping
They're
right now,
like-
brother. I'm
yeah.
waiting for anybody to make a loud noise. I'm like, holy shit.
yo. Somebody is
They're not usually this loud. What's going on?
Yeah. Let's see if it's up. You see it yet?
Now I do.
No, you do.
You gonna have like a chat right there and things like that?
Yeah.
On the right side. I kind of keep it on my phone so I can see better.
Feel that.
I'm hoping that because you don't sound like you're all the way up right now.
I
Me?
don't.
Huh?
Me?
Neither one of you. It might be
Really?
my headphones.
Bro,
It
we're
might-
booming over here,
We are
dog. I ain't
booming
gonna
over
lie.
here for real.
Oh, you can hear yourself
Oh
good?
yeah, like distort.
Sounds like you're R. Kelly in my ear right now, brother.
You can hear me good too then?
Yeah, you-
Oh, so
you're there.
it's just mine.
in your ear with a tinkle.
Up in there, dog.
It's just mine then.
Post this on the ground, bro.
That's crazy,
Yeah. 1 second here. I'm just adding it to the socials.
dude. Every time you say that, I cringe. You know, my realtor said that. Like, he took a picture when I bought my house,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Got to get a pic for the socials," and it just sounded like the corniest old white man shit ever. And then here you are,
It sounds good to me, man, but I'm getting old. So.
a proud HBCU grad.
This at the mentorship, this boy asked me how old I was one time, and I told him I used to wash clothes in a bathtub, and then to dry them, we would hang them up on clotheslines with clothespins. That's how old I am.
Were you in the 1800s?
And I was speaking like Spanish to him. He had no idea what I was talking about. He had no idea what a clothesline was, what a clothespin is. Why am I washing clothes with my hands in a bathtub? But yeah, that's what we did every other day. Every week.
My mom, like, I don't know what it was. It was the summer or something in Connecticut, and she thought it would be a good idea to hang the clothes out to dry. And so, like, for a couple days in a row, like, I'm outside, and like, I got a new shirt on, and I'm like, it smells. I'm like, I got body odor. I haven't done anything. And then when I figured out what it was, like, I ripped her a new one. I'm like, you put my clothes in the damn dryer. I'm not trying to smell like a sweaty gym sock out here.
Bro, there's nothing worse than like that mildew, not fully dried clothing.
Yeah, that's not the answer. Come
It's
on.
terrible, man. It's terrible. If you haven't noticed, you're back on the Bench podcast, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We're available on all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All right. We have A. Beck in the building.
My dog, what's up, bro?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And as always, we got a full show for you guys. We're going to be, first of all, he's an artist. We're going to be talking about his path, his journey, what he has going on for sure. Okay. And then some of the other topics we're talking about, of course, we're coming out of the election. We have Kodak going crazy on a famous streamer live. We have a local shooting here, which I actually was watching while it happened.
Were you?
Was crazy. And then we have some NBA talk and some other NFL topics to hit as well.
Boy, I guess we'll get to it, but I got to ask, like, was the shooter live streaming it himself, or was there another person out there
and we
just
can get to
streaming
it. There's no order to the show. We can get to
Yeah.
it. All right.
I was gonna say you gotta educate me on this, bro, because it's going crazy on social media.
Yeah,
but
it really is. It really is. Yeah, so this is it's a Sanford girl. So right. So once she's on live, the thing about on live is, that once the word starts spreading, and I'm in that Seminole County now.
Yeah.
So once the word starts spreading and they start sharing the live, and basically she's on live going, just talking smack and this girl here and this, she don't know, and I'm gonna pull up on her and this and that, and she's driving the whole time she's on live.
Oh, so
the girl who got
she
shot,
has live.
the girl who got shot,
Okay.
is on live, and she's driving. Pretty much she's driving the whole time, talking trash.
Right.
All right, and then she finally gets to this neighborhood. still on live. And the craziest thing to me is while she's on live, another girl comments and she says, "Girl, you have to be careful. You might get to these folks' house and they might kill you. So think this through."
You're a writer. They call that foreshadowing, right?
And she literally says on the live, she says, I don't care. Let these people kill me. I don't care. And so that's why, I don't mind talking about it. I don't care talking about it because she literally said that she didn't care.
File that one under fuck around and find out.
Yeah, seriously, man. And she has kids and all of that, but that's something that you just have to think through. But anyway, to finish the story, she gets there. When she finally finds the right neighborhood, the right street, that girl, and I say person because I don't know if it's a mistake or not, but under the initial police report that I saw, I don't know if they updated it or not, but it shows male. The person who shot.
Yeah, I originally saw the story as a male shot a woman.
Okay, it looks like a girl. Okay, so I don't know whatever, but like it looks exactly like a girl.
Okay.
And I don't know if she was aware that was a girl or not.
Okay.
Like she going there to fight another girl and it's a girl with man power. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if she knew that or not.
Yeah.
And whatever. I don't know these two people, so whatever. I'm just telling you what I read and what I saw. That's a woman that I saw.
Okay.
Okay.
It sounded like it was the initial article said a man, and it sounded like it was kind of like a relationship argument.
No.
But that's not really.
Well, how the argument started, I don't know.
Okay.
But that's a girl. It's dressed like
a
girl.
Gotcha.
When you see the picture, that's the person who died, but the person, it looks like a girl.
Okay. This is the decedent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That looks like a girl. For sure.
No. This is the shooter. That's the shooter.
The person that got shot is a male.
No, it's two
the
women.
person who did the shooting.
Yes, I'm following deep.
That's like a girl. That's her.
That's her.
That's him. Her.
Him, her. She, he. Whatever.
It's reported as a male, but that's what it looks like.
Okay, I thought that was the person that got shot. Okay.
No. And again, I don't know these people. Maybe I got it backwards. Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's the two of them. Both of them look like women.
No, for real, it makes way more sense that would be the shooter.
Okay.
Because usually when somebody passes, they don't put the picture up right away.
Yeah.
There's usually a delay where they have to identify and notify family. Yeah. So that would make more sense that would be the perp.
Yeah, they're saying that's Savon, and Savon is the shooter. So that's the girl. Yeah, the shooter. Okay, so she get there, and the Savon person is sitting outside waiting. Okay, and and you go to talking trash. Now she still has it on the same live as she gets out of the car and she walks up to Savon, and then Savon has something in the hand. I don't know if it's a bat or something. It just looks like something to hit. And then you just hear doot doot like that, and the phone drops. Okay, but then of course she ends up getting shot a couple of times, and then they leave the woman in the middle of the street. Okay. So I don't know who called the police, maybe some neighbors or something, and then that's it. But this whole the whole situation is really messed up on both sides, and it's one of those things where it's like
it usually is in a shootout.
Well, yeah. It wasn't a shootout; it was a shooting. Yeah, like if you can't let Facebook online disputes get to this point in the first place, right. Okay? And that's the thing. You can't get to the point where you're talking about pulling up and you gotta find this person to fight and do all of this and do all that. That's the very first point. You just can't get to that point. Yeah. It's stupid and idiotic anyway. If you are going to get to that point, if you just have to get to that point and there's no other way around it, you can't pull up to the people's house in Florida, Texas, Georgia, any of these southern regions
stand the ground law, right?
Without any weapons. That's just dumb. It just is. You have all of this pent up angry energy. And you're on live and everybody sees it, including the person that you're talking to. Okay, okay, and then you're gonna go to their doorstep, to their domain, with no weapon. what are you doing? You have kids? What is the thought process?
Yeah.
And then I understand there's the one girl on live that says, hey, you can die and this and that. But where is anybody else? There's how many of X amount of people watching the live you can see? It's a bunch of people. We're all tuning in. It felt like a 30, 40-minute drive. There's nobody that's watching. None of your cousins or sisters. Everybody. And what's funny, because now today.
I'm on my way from Kissimmee.
Today, everybody's on there like, oh, that was my best friend, my sister, my cousin. She was such a lovely person, and y'all just don't know her, and y'all judging her. Where was y'all at when this girl was on live on this 40-minute journey to this person's God? What was this?
You had more than a couple minutes to reconsider.
I want to know how angry you got to be to make that drive.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And stay angry that whole time.
That's my point. You're losing no anger on the drive. Like,
Dude.
Come on, man.
And then you get out holding the phone? Like, you're already down.
Holding the phone.
You're down.
I'm not a big fan of the frontal assault. I don't get it. Like, if I'm mad enough to want you to die, you're not going to see me coming.
Yeah.
You're going to, like, go to your car one day, and I'm just going to mysteriously walk by and put one in your head and keep going.
Dude.
Like, this is so stupid, And it's not going to be on live.
That's the crazy thing to me, too, is, like, on live.
Yeah.
But then, like, yeah, like you said, bro, like, back in the day, right? Okay, for instance, you got neighborhood beef. You're pulling up with your brothers. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys are fighting at the basketball park, I'm pulling up deep.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You
Like, that's like a known thing.
It's a known thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a crew.
To go solo on a 30-minute drive and think you're coming out on top in somebody else's home is
With no weapon either.
diabolical,
It's
bro.
nuts. It's nuts, so.
Did you watch The Untouchables way back in the day?
Untouchables.
Yeah, it was like Elliot Ness. It was like Sean Connery.
No,
and
I
Kevin
definitely
Costner.
heard about it.
All right, but it was like if he pulls a knife, you pull a gun. Like that was the idea. Like you don't want to be the knife guy at the gunfight.
Of
Dude,
course
that's
not.
insane, bro.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you know that this woman is on live this entire time. You're on there watching with all of us. Okay?
Yeah.
You must have it in your head that you're going to shoot her no matter what. You're on video, and then you don't allow her, because she's charged for murder because she didn't allow her to get to her yard or door.
Okay.
She confronted her basically in the street.
Right.
Big
right.
mistake.
So you're on. They're gonna get her. What from the Facebook lawyers? They're gonna get her because the street is public property, if you will. Like she didn't. A lot of people are saying she won't be able to claim.
She may lose the stand your ground defense because the person's not entered the property.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think
I
about that?
don't want to get too deep, but wasn't there a case where like a guy was at a gas station and off somebody in self-defense and there was stand your ground?
Yeah.
Wasn't there? And that was a
think-
massive outburst on social media.
I think that can happen. I also think that the video, the live, creates a defense for the shooter. Because now you have 30 minutes of content saying,
what was she saying?
I'm here to, I'm going to confront, I'm going to whatever. This person's probably watching the live go, oh, this person's pulling up. I got my gun, I'm ready. Absolutely. Like this is, from a legal standpoint, it's idiotic because you're basically broadcasting for 30 minutes your intention to harm, confront, what have you. And so, the defense, they're going to be, I'm at home, this person is live, they're coming to me, what am I supposed to do? I know their intent when they get out of the car. I knew their intent, for the last 30 minutes.
We all did.
Yeah, we all did. So what do I got to wait until you enter my house to do anything when you've driven 30 minutes broadcasting your intentions to do bad things to me?
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those easily winnable cases, but could lose. You know what I mean?
I don't think you're going to win. I'd be surprised if you could win outright, but it'd probably mitigate.
Manslaughter.
It'd probably mitigate to a manslaughter type of level. I forget, we were talking something else like first degree, second degree, or whatever. Yeah, first degree is you have that clear intent. I'm planning to kill this person, and you execute my plan. The murder 2 is usually heat of the moment. You and I get in a conflict spontaneously, and you kill me, and that's usually 2. Manslaughter is you're just behaving just so recklessly, I don't give a damn about anybody, and somebody dies out of that. But that's usually kind of like the fall down if it's not clean on the other 2 counts.
Yeah, for sure. For
Man,
sure.
I feel like that's so unfortunate, bro.
It is, man.
Because, like, the lady that shot her, like, I mean, what else did you want me to do?
Right.
And now I got to go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if her defense is like, this person's committed to come to me. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, vacate my house? Like, maybe this lady's going to come and smash my windows of my house or whatever. You know, it's really almost a textbook stand your ground, particularly if it could be confirmed that she was watching the live herself, knowing this person's approaching and how far, you know, roughly the time span on that.
Man, that's wild, bro.
I mean, potentially interesting legal case.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons, but just a stupid, senseless tragedy on the whole.
Yeah.
You know.
What could the prosecution say, though? What do you think?
Absolutely nothing. I don't think.
Right?
I
Like,
mean,
what
you
could
just-
the
it's just-
state
you don't
say?
Have any.
No, well, the state's going to say you killed a person. You killed an unarmed person.
Yeah, but I
You
mean,
know,
I think a jury's going to be like, well.
And the other side of that, though, is they're going to look into what the shooter was doing to precipitate the fight or whatever.
Yeah,
If
'cause
she's
they-
there, pull up, I got my gun, and,
Yeah.
you know, we'll figure this out.
And
Like,
they,
and
they
whatever.
said that there was a lot of
So
that
I'm
too.
sure, yeah. Now, from the live that you witnessed or listened to, like, could you discern what the fight was about
See,
in
and
any
I
way?
couldn't. I
Okay.
couldn't. And of course they know.
Yeah, for sure.
People on there, but I had no idea. Like I said, I don't know these 2 people. I don't follow them
Yeah,
on Facebook.
yeah.
It was just something that was getting.
Now I was
shared,
just
getting
figuring
shared.
if based on what
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
saying
based
in the
on,
car,
the
like, you
audio.
know, you fucked my man, or like, who knows?
Damn, that's tough.
Yeah, that's tough.
So
That's tough,
crazy.
especially if that person is of that community, and you find out
Yeah.
it's a lot of But I don't know. I'm not even going to follow up on it. I guess it would. I would be curious to see what that person gets as far as time wise, if it does get down to manslaughter. But
Well, and the
it's
other
just crazy.
the other sad reality to this is, unless they have money for a proper defense attorney, she's going to be dealing with a public defender, probably be convinced, strong-armed into accepting a plea to maybe a manslaughter level charge.
15, 20 years.
So it could be. Yeah. It could get bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, but then other factors, like, are there priors involved and things of that nature?
Yeah.
You know.
Alrighty. Well, once again, you guys are on the bench, still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Payne, Coma Sports, Music, and Mayhem. We're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Still have a Beck in the building here. I had another thing I was actually going to open up with, but that's fine. We got the Sanford, Florida. That's completely fine. My guy here, Kodak, was on Casanats, right? I think I said that correct. He was on his stream. Casanat is a very famous streamer. He's be on Twitch and all those other things. I think he was even in the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game this year, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the first time I saw him.
Okay.
He's an insufferable bitch. He was like whining because he wasn't getting the ball, and I'm like, I think Micah Parsons was like just dominating the game.
Yeah,
It's
Parsons
like,
was
why am I
balling.
going to pass to your little ass? You can't play.
But apparently he's entertaining or whatever.
He's massive, bro.
Well, okay. Every time
Massive.
there's
Yeah. He's colossal.
he just seems like an idiot to me, like just one of these overreaction guys.
You know what's crazy, though?
That's what they do, though.
I'll stand up for him, though,
Will
because
you?
I understand what it seems like, but he's actually one of the more milder guys.
For real? Okay.
Like,
Oh, because a lot of guys just go in there and scream and yes, what you're saying.
check it out. So he's on Twitch.
Yeah.
They got extreme rules. If you're on like Kick, like a Aiden Ross or those guys, it's very limited rules.
Okay.
Especially when they're paying him that type of money, that type of views.
Sure.
But Kai, he's pretty calm compared to others. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's some bad dudes on them streaming apps, bro.
I mean, I'm not even addressing it like this, but like he's just one of these guys. Like he just like whatever it is, a mild thing, he's just gonna like overreact and have these dumb
that's
faces and
part
stuff.
of the job.
It is the job. I just don't respect the job. Is my
No, I feel you. I feel you.
You know, like that's the thing. There's a guy in kind of like the soccer community. He's called I Show Speed.
Yeah.
He's
That's-
yeah. See, I hate that motherfucker. I
See, and
despise him.
he's on Kick.
Okay.
Actually,
okay.
I don't even think he's on Kick, bro. I think he got banned from Kick. Now he's like strictly YouTube.
Yeah.
That's how strict they
He's
are.
the guy that pulled up to the Dolphins facility and wanted
Yeah,
to race.
that's him.
Tariq.
Yeah.
But
What Kai he had Kodak on there. Kodak just released an album, so he's probably going to be trying to do different spots to promote the album. But he was going haywire, man. He was going haywire. Even at one point throughout the stream, he appeared to
Glitch for the Twitch.
that was the wildest statement to make. He apparently popped the bean, if you will, and then afterwards he was like, "Yeah, that's a glitch for the Twitch." That was hilarious,
Man.
But and he's he's dancing and he's seeming like he's out of it, and then afterwards, just like last time we talked about it, he did something similar about a year ago or whatever. And afterwards, you get a lot of people on social media. Oh, we gotta, you gotta pray for Kodak.
We need an
intervention.
intervention.
He's a drug addict, and we gotta get him better. And he's gotta, you gotta. I feel bad for him, and I feel so sorry for him, and Kodak is one of my favorite artists. Tim's is taking over my number one spot, but Kodak is firmly in my top 3 favorite artists.
She's the top of 2 categories.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Has anybody else held the double title like that?
No.
Wow.
No.
We're in uncharted territory.
Uncharted territory.
Wow.
So
Assume.
Bubba's
I'm
gonna
assume
Bubba's
the
gonna
other category.
is jerking off. Baby oil Bubba. Wow.
Shout out to Tim's. So I'm a huge Kodak Black fan, but I just think that every time he does something like this, I think you guys just overreact and it's overblown. Like I told somebody I told D-Lie. D-Lie's like, oh, and screw all of you people who's telling us that Kodak doesn't need help and this and that. Listen, this man is rich beyond his means. He has 4 kids, and by all accounts, he takes care of all of his kids tremendously. He never misses work, never is late for work. He's a fucking millionaire. He's doing what do I need to feel sorry for him for?
Right.
Let this man have his version of fun. Don't screw my version of fun up. If I was his age and had that money, I'd have like 5 million chicks running in and out. Y'all be like, Bubba might have AIDS. Don't feel sorry for me because I'm having my version of fun. This guy's having his version of fun.
We're fairly certain he does.
Yeah.
This man got pardoned. He was facing a 10, 15-year sentence. He got pardoned by the president of the fucking United States of America. Well, I'm going to feel sorry for this man. I'm going to waste my prayers here when there's people who don't have access to food and water? What am I missing?
But yeah, you don't feel that he has a drug problem.
I don't feel that his drug problem is affecting his life enough for him to do something different.
Okay.
I agree.
With what's my guy that passed away from New York, DMX. DMX, his drug problem was affecting his entire life. You know what I mean?
But
you
don't think that he'll reach a point where that becomes
it's
the
possible. We ain't reached it now.
Yeah.
If he ain't reached it now, there's no need to feel sorry for him.
You just feel sorry when he's dead.
No, I'm talking about Kodak.
I know, but you feel sorry when he's dead.
Because you think he could have stopped it?
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping that guy right there, bro.
No, I know.
I think his response too was that he said, "You guys never seen nobody pop a perk or something."
Yeah. He's like, I only did one. You guys are butthurt. Should have seen me back in my day. I did doing 20 of them.
He was acting a little weird though, man.
No, he was out. He was looking out of it.
Yeah.
This was a little, and also there's a component too. He's putting on for cameras too. Like he's he like not that he's not high.
I was going to ask you,
but he's faking too.
Is he? I mean, he's genuinely noted for being on time and being very professional in those aspects.
Yeah.
Okay. I had no idea, but
yeah. All of these interviews you see him at, because like whenever you think about the top ones for hip hop artists, Breakfast Club, what's the Drink Champs, Kai Cenat, all of these top guys and top platforms, like other artists that you think have it all there, they be late. They don't,
sure.
they don't show. Like all the Kodak's never been late to any of them. He shows up to all of them, and not only that, his personal like performances and shows and stuff like that. He doesn't have to cancel shows.
No,
because he got too high on Friday night.
I respect the hell out of that. I really do. I think that's top notch.
And that's just so far.
Yeah,
like you say.
Yeah.
Maybe he does spiral into something different. And but then that's another different conversation.
Right. But no, again, if if it's what you're saying, if he's a guy that shows up on time, delivers what he's supposed to deliver, and then may kind of embellish a few things for fun, like that he seems like he's in a comfortable space.
Yeah.
I mean, my take on this, man, is like you want to see the guy do well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it just feels dangerous, bro, because there's so many things that can go wrong really fast, especially being an entertainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally under a microscope. Being on Kai Cenat stream, that's like one of the biggest, the viewership of that stream is probably one of the larger platforms he'll ever be on. Whether it's performing or nobody's doing 150,000 people a show, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless it's a festival.
Yeah.
But, so I think that's like the real concern. I think it's crazy when people, like you said, say they're praying for these artists or these people that, you know what I mean, bro? Because, for what? If he wants to do that to himself, let him do it to himself.
No, and I with drug use, I don't have a lot of sympathy for it. Like, live by the sword, die by the sword, and I'm cool with it. If you OD and die, it's like you've made the choice to do that. It is what it is. I hope you enjoyed your run. But that's it.
One of the first things they tell you when you become a serious artist is, whoever you show up as day one, you better fucking like that person because that's who everybody's going to fall in love with.
Okay.
And Kodak has never switched up.
Yeah.
He has
That's
been
true.
the same dude since day one, since we met him as a fucking jit.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about the authenticity of things and being a central element of somebody's success. I love that idea.
It's a massive thing. And then,
Yeah.
when you see people switching up, that's when usually the career is on the other side.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
They're kind of grasping to keep it going.
But now it's what is paying me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Am
true.
I going to go do this Kamala or Trump rally, or am I just going to keep popping beans on Kai Cenat stream? You feel me?
Yeah. No, for real though. That's true. Yeah. But that's even you look at a guy like Snoop Dogg. He's been
Dude,
25
he's been a
years,
stoner forever.
30 years, and it's the same guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't do much music anymore, but he just shows up and smokes and makes.
He
funny
streams now.
comments.
100%. Oh yeah. Oh, Snoop does. Yeah.
Snoop,
Yeah.
he's a big streamer.
Yeah, and I imagine guys like him and on that legendary status, I mean, they'll do really well if they stream. People will just tune in and watch. Especially, don't let them be smoking on there and talking about different strands or whatever.
Yeah, I heard that if you book Snoop Dogg to anything, if you guys did that, you would just assume that he's gonna smoke.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no
Well, I remember
contractual things.
He was on Howard Stern, and Howard was joking that he had a dude just carrying a huge bag of weed.
No, he
They
didn't.
just
Dead ass
arrived with.
did.
Yeah.
That's a thing,
yeah, no,
bro.
they were saying that.
Yeah.
They weren't saying it as a joke as it wasn't true. They were saying that guy's actually here.
I
He's
think
right there.
I think in this particular situation though is what made it weird is Kai can get banned for that.
Yeah,
Drug use.
especially for
Oh.
that for the popping the
Okay.
on stream.
I'm
So
Okay.
Kai was very uncomfortable and that was noticeable.
yeah.
So I think that elevated the whole situation as to people thinking it was Kodak being level 50 instead of level 25. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Yeah, that
It
makes
looked
sense.
way worse
Yeah.
because you could tell Kai was like,
A little rattled.
well, yeah, when the fuck do I end this? Because I mean, at any point here, bro, I could lose. He's in a subathon right now,
Okay.
and he's fucking almost at 200,000 subs, bro. That's 200,000 subs at $5 a piece.
Yeah, Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and to lose it because this guy's popping a bean.
He's banking.
Yeah.
Is that? It looks like his house. Is that actually like his house?
No, so he set up that house to do this.
Oh,
There's
okay.
literally cameras every angle in that house. It's a massive.
That's
production.
money.
That makes the most
Setting
but
up a house
No, but
just
it makes,
for that
It
is
makes
money.
the most sense that you do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then and again, it keeps your your actual life a little bit private.
Yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
actually, his life is far from private.
Private.
So I don't know if do you guys know much about him at all?
I don't follow. No.
And
no.
I mean,
So-
he pops up on some viral stuff, and
you
then
know,
that,
of course I see clips.
then
yeah.
that lackluster appearance at the Celebrity All-Star Game.
Yeah. So Kai, he's part of a group, a YouTube group, and it's like 5 other dudes, I think, and they all have a massive mansion in Atlanta.
Okay.
So
and
they all
They
own
just
it together.
create content, right? And so that's
Is he
the thing.
is he the biggest one out of the camp?
Now, yes, but he'll tell the story as those guys gave him the platform.
Okay.
Because those guys were already doing big on YouTube, which now with the streaming shit, we forget that YouTube still is a massive payout.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those guys were killing it, and then they found Kai, and they were like, "You're gonna be a streamer. We think you should stream." And he's like, "Fuck no, I'm just a YouTube guy." And they were like, "No, bro." And then now look at him.
Now look
He's
at him.
Oh, wow,
massive,
okay.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like the music industry breaks records through Kai now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't promote online. Like if you're a big artist, you go to Kai.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
I know
bro.
Drake.
Yeah.
Drake had his name in that diss record. In what capacity I forgot, but he was like, yeah, something about Kai. I remember that, and I didn't know that Kai was that influential in that
It's nuts, bro.
space until then.
It's nuts. Like so,
Yeah.
Kai talked bad about a Glorilla song one time, and
Yeah.
she unfollowed him. Like that's how massive. And then nobody streamed the record.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he wasn't like trying to hate, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild, bro. The things that teenagers will pay for now is
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll never understand the
Paying to
streamers
watch
who
somebody.
get paid just for playing video games, and the kids will watch
Yeah.
them playing video games.
I mean,
I'll never understand that.
I never understood OnlyFans. Now you're gonna watch a guy play a video game? Come on.
I get you. You know, I think it's like a sense of
And
community,
they
bro.
pay for that. They
Our-
pay to watch another guy
Yeah,
play a
that's
video
what
game.
I'm saying.
That's
Our
nuts.
community was hanging out on the street and playing, right?
Yeah,
That's
true.
how you build bonds. And these guys, I've been in a couple streams and I'm noticing like, bro, they have cliques, bro. Like their friends are there. Every day they come home from school, boom, they go on Kai's stream and their homeboys are in the chat that they met online. You know what I mean? It's like a sense of community. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
And
sense
they're
of community.
bantering while the stream.
Yeah.
While the stream is
yeah,
going.
they're just talking to
I
each
got
other
you.
while it's happening. It's like background noise.
But again, isn't that's how a lot of the video games are, where you're playing and you kind of play with these people that you might never meet in person, but
Right.
Ever in
you know
life.
you're playing for multiple hours and you kind of know them a little bit.
Yeah.
I've worked a little bit on streaming myself because like that's a massive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I mean-
That's
Brother, you get 1,000 people at $5 a month.
Yeah, there you go.
know what I mean?
that's nuts, man.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few podcasts in that space too. You know what I mean? But building that initial fan base, and then going from there. Because I was talking to someone about this last week. Because during that Drake and beef with Kendrick, like some of the top hip hop podcasts like Joe Budden and all those guys, like I normally catch their content on YouTube. But during that beef, in the height of the beef, they would only release on the platforms that you have to pay for.
Oh, for real?
on
Okay.
those streaming platforms you have to pay for. I forgot which one Joe specifically uses, but
See
yeah,
on like Rumble or something.
maybe.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it's quite a few of them. But as a hip hop artist, how many artists stream and use those platforms, and what would they use it for?
So I've seen what's his name? Damn, bro, T Grizzly.
Oh,
T Grizzly's a
but
big streamer.
T Games too though.
He's a game streamer, you know,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
built his own. So in Grand Theft Auto, they have these own servers now of GTA Online, and it's like role
Yeah.
play. Like you gotta drink and eat and
Okay.
things like that.
Yeah.
So he built his own thing, and he's pretty big in that. T-Pain is a massive streamer now.
Really?
yeah?
T-Pain said he makes more streaming than probably his whole music career.
Wow.
And T-Pain probably talks about everything, right? He's probably not like doing something.
He's a
specific.
gamer. He does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
he
he
does like
does all kinds of
Temu stuff. He used to review people's music,
I think that's when I started watching. Yeah.
and then he kind of got over reviewing shit
Okay.
for hours on end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a tough business to be in because you can't say everything is awesome, and you're
Like, you gotta say some stuff's bad.
T-Pain's one of the
you have to.
hardest
That's
people.
why, and then that's probably
Yeah.
why you got away from it.
He's one of the toughest people to impress
Yeah.
Okay.
because, like, I mean, he everything you hear now he created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the sound now he created, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's like you're trying to get the guy that created it to tell you you're good.
Right.
I had a successful T-Pain stream one time.
Did you?
Yep.
Nice.
He only listens to a minute of the song, and he was listening to the song, and he said, I'm going to let it go. I really want to hear this hook.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And the hook came in, and he was like, yep, he did that.
Nice.
Oh, man.
I said, okay,
Congrats.
okay.
Congrats.
And then all of a sudden, the chat's going. The chat figured out who I was. Now I'm the white Tory Lanez.
But how did you even like submit your song? How was that process?
Well, hey, before we go there, who were you going to shoot in the foot?
Oh, no, shit. Nobody, brother. I'm smarter than that. No way. So there's like a Discord, which is like a group chat now, like AIM was back in the day for us.
Okay, yeah.
You can go on there and chat anytime, and he would have like, hey, boom, this link is open. You would go on the Discord, submit, and I mean thousands.
Imagine so.
And then they shut it down. And then he would just go pull it up on stream, go through them.
Bang, bang, bang.
Like randomly or go through them like one by one?
Whoever was at the top of the list, he would go
he'll
through
go
them,
through
and then
quite a
he'd
few.
decide that he was done. And
He'll listen, like you
day.
said, he'll listen to the first few seconds, and if he ain't like it, he'll go to the next one.
next one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, man. Which song was it?
That
Of
he
yours?
it was a record I did called Need You. It's like an Afrobeat joint. I
Yeah.
did it in Miami, and I mean he was rocking with it, bro. He bought the build up. He waited for the hook. Hook hit him. Boom.
I like it. That's funny.
I'm glad you just said what you just said, because when I asked you to send me the link of your music, and once again we here with artist Beck. All right. When you told me to send when I asked you to send the link to your music, I went and checked it out, and it's like I do see the Afro beats music, and then it's like they have it classified as R&B soul, the other tracks that you have.
Right. Yeah.
And those are kind of the two main lanes that I saw, at least for maybe 20, 25 songs. Of course, you have more. So those are. So was that an independent project you worked on, the Afrobeats tracks, or is that like just something you predominantly do? And
So yeah, it's weird for me, bro, because my biggest issue is I don't have an identifying sound.
yeah,
There's nothing that you can hear and be like, that's Beck,
right.
other than my voice. It comes from me. It's weird, bro, because like it comes from, I can just get on anything because I just love the music aspect of it, and I try not to box in things. You know what I mean? I keep the openness mind, and I really fell in love with Afrobeat music like 2018, 2019. I was listening to like Davido and those guys that were coming out of London and stuff, and I'm like, damn, bro, this is the new wave of the world.
Gotcha.
Like, hip hop. When I sat on labels, I realized no one wants to do hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one wants rap. Labels don't want rap. They're gonna make a quick flip, and then they're gonna keep moving. So I'm thinking to myself, longevity. How do I be who I want to be, but different from everything else?
Right.
Because I'm already battling a white guy in the rap lane. You're either Eminem or you're MGK. You know?
No, there's a third lane.
What's the third lane?
Russ.
Vanilla Ice?
No,
Ooh.
wait until you get there. The comedy lane.
Oh, Lil Dicky? Yeah, that's far from my doing, bro.
He's the GOAT in that lane, though.
Yeah, no.
But yeah.
I think he's really talented,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But it's just, it will never be taken serious, you know what I mean?
Right.
And my thing is like, okay, boom, I can do these things, and I know I can do these things. So I started tapping in with, Caribbean producers, things like that. And then the Afrobeat thing just became an easy thing to me. You know what I mean? So I started tapping in with, African artists. I mean, I'm working with African artists now on piano shit. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
One of the guys you had on there for like 3 songs. Yeah. I wasn't too familiar, but he sounds really good on there. It starts with an S, the name. I'll go on there and look at them, because I'm sure you've probably done quite a few of those tracks.
That's a lot of
But
records,
yeah,
man.
because that's funny, because you kind of answered my next question there, because I was saying the R&B soul, you said hip-hop, but really R&B soul is like a dying sport.
Yeah.
It's a dying sport.
Real R&B.
Yeah, real R&B. And so then I see the Afrobeat, so I already understood that part of it. But my thing, your sound, why wouldn't you just go to pop?
So
And you would have a small like change to make to go pop.
and
like,
that's
as
the
far as
problem.
appearance.
So whenever I signed my first deal, I started understanding what this is, how this works, how does this work,
Right.
and it's way more than just the music. You know what I mean? Like R&B classification, you got to think when you do that, you're talking about the Grammy lane. This will be voted in the R&B category.
Right.
That's got to get approved as that too. So if you're an independent artist out there right now, if you're just labeling whatever the hell you want and your song goes big, you ain't gonna win that Grammy, bro. Because if it doesn't fit in their category of that, then it's not.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I started understanding these things, and I remember I was cutting these records, bro, and I'm like, we were doing pop records, and I started looking at myself, and I said, who the fuck am I, bro? What is this shit, dude? I mean, I got dreadlocks. I'm from West Orlando. I'm not a street dude, but I know the streets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, what in the hell? When you reach a level and they say pop, man, I'm telling you right now, bro, it can get as bubblegummy as you think it does. Like, honestly, bro, that pop thing is, bro.
So when you say that, is it like, did you find yourself just kind of creating bubblegum songs, or were you working with other people that kind of were pushing you in that direction?
Crazy story is like they were pushing me that direction. That was their vision of who I can be, talent wise. I couldn't sell that as a person, so for me it was already like, whoa.
You have to be able to sell it, and I would have pushed you there in that direction too, because that's what I'm hearing now. But that's before I hear the Afrobeat side of it,
Right?
But I would have definitely, and that's another thing. Like you said, you can, because of your sound, man, you can kind of go in a bunch of different avenues.
Yeah, I could be across the world with it, you know, and that's what I enjoy. But so funny story is like I was working my label mate. Her name is Angela Hunt. She wrote Empire State of Mind. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to her, and Empire State of Mind was like this jazzy record before that. It was supposed to be a Lady Gaga record.
Really?
Yeah, bro. Lady
wow.
Gaga had that record. Jay-Z heard the hook and said, no. That's me.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, boom, you know, they do the whole thing, right? But I'm sitting there and I'm writing these records with her, and I'm like, did she just say I'm fucking crying?
What you mean?
I'm not about to be on no record talking about I'm crying, bro. Like, I'm not
she
a
wrote
hard
a song.
Yeah, this was for me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
oh my God, bro. Like, dude, what are we doing, bro? You know what I mean? It was things like that. Like, I could play you guys the records afterwards and show you, and you'll know exactly what the fuck I mean. You're like, oh, okay. But yeah, bro, that pop thing just comes with a whole character behind it that is just never gonna be me, bro.
That's self-awareness.
Yeah, dude.
And you have that sound, that voice that was like, and then once the person sees you, like, oh, damn, this is the guy that says that.
Every time, bro. Every time.
Because when I met you about a month ago here, it was like I hear this music in the background, and then I'm like, and you're here, and they're like, that's the guy. I'm like, that's the guy. Like, what's going on?
That's like the secret sauce, bro. But it opens up a lot of crazy doors, man.
Yeah.
People either love it or they just absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's funny. Now, like, when did you kind of get into music, and kind of what was the stuff you started listening to before you got to where you are?
Yeah, so I grew up, my dad was a professional trumpet player. So I grew up on, you know, Chicago, Phil Collins, throwback stuff.
Phil Collins.
Yeah, bro. I was the kid pulling up in the car lane listening to freaking, like, MJ Thriller albums and shit, and people are looking at me weird as fuck, like, what?
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that shit, bro. I thought it was, like, incredible. So I was about in 6th grade, and T-Pain was popping.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sitting here listening. I'm like, bro, this is out of here, bro. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. And then he came out with a T-Pain auto-tune app.
Oh,
An
okay.
app.
An app
Okay.
on your phone that you could sing an auto-tune. And you could record records. And they had, like, preloaded beats. I'm like, game over, baby. You know what I mean? Boom. started doing that, and yeah, bro, it just like grew into something that I was just started getting hungrier and hungrier and going and buying my own equipment, and
Okay.
I was trash for a very long time. Very long time.
So what was like your first song that you thought like, okay, this is a good song, or people said it was a good song?
So I had a record, man, bro, it was called Fantasia.
Oh, Fantasia.
Yeah, and the craziest thing, man, is like I tell this to people, and Kevin Gates changed everything I do as an artist,
Really?
which is so crazy. But the way I heard him like write and perform his records was like so emotional, and he had so many different melody flows and things that people don't even think about because they're just thinking about him licking ass. But he's really talented, bro.
Yeah.
And so when I heard Kevin Gates for the first time, I'm like, holy shit, bro, that's incredible. I need to work on doing some of this because I'm capable. So I did a record called Fantasia, and it's crazy, bro, because we did the video at a hookah lounge, and it was lit, bro. I mean, it was popping, and everybody showed up, and the video goes crazy. I get a chance to go to the studio and meet this guy, July, who's now signed with Sony. He did, like, the Billie Eilish record and all those.
Okay.
And July hears it, boom, they love me. We start cooking records. Now he's teaching me writing things. It just snowballs,
From
bro.
there.
You know what I mean? And
Okay.
they had a connection with Southstar from Smiles and Southstar
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
He hears about me, comes in the studio. He's going, what the fuck, bro? This white guy is doing that? You know what I mean? And then, boom, that was like the beginning. That's when I knew I was lit.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're from here in Orlando. Now, your current sound, your current music, is not a popular style locally.
Yeah,
So
that's a battle.
and that I know. So what are you doing to get the streams and the
Engagement.
notice that you are getting? Like,
You know,
what are you
the
doing?
crazy thing is, like, about nowadays is, you know, they always said, bro, oh, you got to get lit in your city first, and then you go. Cap. There's internet now, and there's a platform to the whole world at the tip of our fingers, you know? So the biggest move I made to open up doors was I went and got a feature from Iaz, which is the guy, Shawty, like a melody in my head.
Okay.
Right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, he has 16 million monthly listeners. If we can just get 1% of that to listen to this record that we did, we build a fan base.
Right. Right.
Well, I did like insane numbers before this song even came out in the U.S. because time difference. He had a massive European worldwide following.
Where's he from?
He's from the Virgin Islands.
Okay.
I don't want to like location drop, but he lives in the Central Florida area.
Oh, okay. Now,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So, and that opened up this massive door to this whole worldwide fan base. So I said, holy shit, that's how you do that. I went and got press. I started working with press companies to put my shit out everywhere else but here.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Playlisting everywhere else but here, because that's the game now is playlisting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 90% of the game. So I just started using the tools that are available rather than hitting up my hip-hop based town to pray to God that they like my Afrobeat record.
Right.
You know what I mean, bro?
That's something that we've talked about before, though. Like that, like sometimes the focus on being like the city star doesn't necessarily equip you to be bigger than the city.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's a big thing, and I'm obviously, you know, you're more connected to you've done it, but that resonates way more than just being the local guy. Like,
You know, and the crazy thing is I was like super blessed to like get with Southstar and meet like Kevin Cossum and have these guys mentor me at a very beginning stage, because they quickly showed me how big the world was.
Yeah.
I was always thinking like, man, why doesn't so-and-so mess with me and he lives in my city? I know I'm good.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Why doesn't that guy mess with me? And that's a really bad mindset that a lot of people have when they're trying to do something.
right.
Why doesn't? When it should be,
Why not?
who gives a shit?
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like
I got it wrong. Fuck.
I've always had that mindset. Like, no disrespect to the city, but there's no one out here that can do anything for me. There's no one out here that's ever done anything that I'm doing. So, unless fucking Lou Pearlman wakes up from his fucking grave, you know what I mean? There's nobody else in this city that has done anything that I've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I watched that. Did you see that thing, the Netflix
Insanity,
thing on
bro.
him? That was wild.
Insanity.
Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, it just kind of like it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 parts or something, maybe more.
Yeah.
But it his origins of creating like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and then he had a bunch of other artists I really wasn't familiar with, and he
Aaron
was just
Carter.
a weird, quirky guy, and he was one of those guys. I think he was kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul type stuff, where the money was. It was there, but it wasn't there. Like, it was wild, man. Wild times.
So. Well, one thing for sure, man, is it's hard not to be impressed from the music. We've had quite a few artists in here, more than I would like. Pink likes the artists, I don't. Just because I just being from here too, I just know too many of them. And they're just not all worth having on the show, just to be honest. And even though we've had quite a few, but the test is, it's funny you say playlisting, because that's how I grade music, even from my top artists that I listen to every day, is if they come out with a new project or something, and for you it was just going through your discography, it's about how many songs do I add to my playlist from that. Because that's what's going to get resurfaced and played again.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Because like if I go through his music one time, he sends it to me, I'm going to go through it one time and then that's it.
Yeah, if you don't keep anything.
If I don't keep anything.
What are we doing?
I went through it and I just found myself, oh, damn, I need to add this to this playlist.
I appreciate
and then
that,
what?
bro.
And then what's funny is because the first two.
You need to forward this to me so I can enjoy it too.
No, for sure. The first two I heard were in like the R&B soul lane, and so I added that. I added one of those two to my play because I have different type of playlists.
Absolutely.
And then I get to I didn't know you did the Afrobeats thing, and I get to the Afrobeat song, and I automatically added it to my island playlist.
Hey, there we go.
And then I went back. I was like, oh shit, no, this don't belong there. And then I listened to it again. I was like, nah, it do belong there. yeah, because I listened to a ton of Afrobeats. You know what I'm saying?
When I realized that I was good in that lane, so I work with a sync label, and they hit me up and they were like, yo, the show Baddies is doing a Caribbean season, and they've requested a whole album for this.
Oh, for real?
And boom, we cut the album, and then I get like, I don't know, it's probably 12 to 15 placements on the season, and I'm going, holy shit, bro.
You did?
Yeah, I'm good.
On what? Is it already come out?
Yeah, it's already. There's footage on my IG. Like
Oh,
I be
shit.
screaming.
I need to
Yeah, bro, I need all that shit, bro.
That's
I
funny.
need all that.
That's what's up. That's
Girls
what's
would
up.
be like, "Yeah, I heard you on Baddies," and I'm like, "Oh no, bro."
They
Not
need to get
good.
you a 5-second appearance on there or something.
Yeah,
somehow.
man, I'm okay on that. I don't want to get knocked out or some shit, dude.
No,
that's
man,
too
but
funny.
that's what's up. That's what's up. All right. Well, let's keep going here. You guys are still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We have A Beck in the building. Now, where can people find you at on socials and on as far as Apple Music and other places too?
Yeah, just search up ABEC Music, ABECK Music, all one word. You'll find everything you need there on Google, wherever, Instagram, Twitter or X, Facebook, all of it.
Good deal.
All right, good deal. Now, I don't imagine we're going to stay on this next topic long, because Pink is a fire starter. So, but Kamala Harris, I said, of course, she lost to Trump in the election. A couple of things for me. I thought this was a great campaign. I was surprised. Like, I woke up surprised, honestly, because I do think it was a strong campaign from her. Two things. I think, number one, probably too late. I think Biden I do think it was a factor. And whether you can comment on that. I do think it was a factor that Biden just stepped down too late. I think that should have happened earlier than it should have.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. It should have happened earlier than it did. What do you think about that?
I agree with that. When you're the vice president, the problem you have is you weren't selected for anything. You are picked by the president. And so there's not a period or there's not a window of time where the public picks you to do anything. You lost in the primary and Joe circled back and added you to the ticket. And so you don't have that thing. Now you handicap it by the late substitution. And so you don't have as much time to build that and to feel like, I mean, and I say this with the caveat that we are so far down in hell right now that none of this matters. But traditionally, there was a notion of feeling presidential, that somebody felt big enough. There was a stature to them, a swagger that was presidential. It's harder to create that in a short window. And then you got to realize, too, that, like, Biden, is essentially a corpse. And he had been that. Like, so the campaign, up to the point that he dropped out, had almost negative momentum.
It really did.
And so you're not just starting
from zero,
late at zero.
Yeah.
You're starting late down 15.
Yes.
And you're trying to overcome that. And that's difficult. Now, the reality was when Biden won 4 years ago, 81 million people voted for him. 67 million people voted for her. Trump, I think it was about 2 or 3 million apart. It was low 70s. And so he basically got consistency over the two things, but the Democrats didn't have voter turnout. They had apathy. They had indifference. They had people that weren't, excited about voting for her or that were just so, worn out by Biden or ineffectual things that they feel have transpired in the last 4 years. And that's why from a voter turnout, you get what you get and you lose.
My second thing, again, I do think it was a strong campaign, but the one criticism I would have of it, I think they went too far on trying to connect with the young voters. And I think that was an issue. Do you think so?
No.
Okay.
Old white people are going to go for the old white motherfucker
no matter what.
So
Okay.
it's one of those things you're going to allocate resources. Now, what you're saying is if we're trying to generate voter turnout, we need to go and mobilize younger people and kind of get them fired up to go. Now, they didn't succeed in that mission.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was the wrong mission to go. She's not going to get elected by old white people.
No matter what.
That's just, we are a racist country, and that's what it is. So you're never going to win that segment of the vote. Now, when you look at the breakdowns, it was, 45 to 65 white people went, heavy Trump, whatever. Black women, black men, they went with Kamala. And, and some of the younger age groups went more for her than the older age groups. But it's not wrong to do that. I would say this, though, as a candidate, in most of the times I heard her speak, she's stiff. She's not fluid. She's not smooth. And that's not engaging. That's not captivating for people. And so you didn't, people, I mean, to be quite honest, I think, to a degree, I think women became very motivated to vote for her and support her. But I don't think she resonated with a lot of other groups. Now, anti-Trump people like myself are going to vote for her. We would have voted for Biden's corpse. I would have voted for a fucking dog. I would have voted for Hitler over that cocksucker. So that's what it is. But, but when you're talking about politics, what you're really looking at is why are people voting? What is that connecting reason or purpose that they're voting? Sometimes they're voting against the other guy. Sometimes they're voting by party line. Sometimes they're single issue voters, for this, the trans community. They're going to go Democrat because that's the most important issue to them, and that's what they're going to do. Your, religious idiots, they're always going to go to the right. They're used to hearing people lie to them and accepting it. That's who they are. And so people vote for different reasons, and you got to channel into that. And I've said many times on this show, the Republican base for years and years and years, it's quite simple. Their economic policies, low regulation, low taxes, benefit millionaire, billionaire class people. But there's not enough of those to win an election. So they have to partner with another group of people. And what they've done is they've consistently chosen ignorant white people and preach fear of black people, fear of minorities, fear of your job getting taken, fear of whatever. I mean, these are the scaredest people to
Free
walk
of
the fucking earth.
LGBT, all that.
You know, and that's their base. And so that's why they have practiced, you know, for 40 years, the politics of fear. That's what they do. That's why I don't, you know, as a party, I will never accept them. And that's, you know, but that's what they do. That's their game plan. And it works because we have a lot of ignorant white people.
That's a fucking take. You know what? I do want to chime in on something. My management's probably going to freak the fuck out. Don't do it. But you brought up a good point about, like, attacking the young vote. And I will say that I think the issue is we had no idea about her because of what you said about, like, the vice president thing. We didn't fucking know anything about her for his whole presidency, literally.
Not a thing.
That you never heard her speak. You don't know what the fuck she was doing the whole time. And I'm not bashing her role by any means. I'm just saying we don't know.
No, the vice presidential role is a really
Always.
odd role, no matter who's in it. It's because, again,
You're
you
literally
become
to stand
part
there
of that
behind 'em.
ticket. Yeah, you become attached to the ticket, which is led by the lead person, and then you're just kind of the follow-along person.
Right.
And then if you win and you're the actual vice president, like, your appearances are relatively minimal.
So what I would say is, like, remember she lost the primary, and what did we take from that? That was her and whatever the other lady's name just going at it, just yapping.
Yeah.
Remember that? And
Yeah.
And that's what people remembered of her.
Right.
And then what happens was what I noticed, and she was trying to reach the young people vote, and she was reaching out to these streamers like Kai Cenat and these kids, and they were on their live saying, "We don't want nothing to do with politics. Please stop contacting us."
That hurts. You
That
look like you're
hurts.
forcing it.
Exactly, bro.
And when she
Very
was
bad.
on stuff, like, she's not, like, she could not go on a show like a Kai Cenat and like just roll with
It's
it.
not going to reflect.
It's
But
just
that
not
was a
her.
part of my point.
Yeah,
Right,
and,
no, I
Like
agree
the
with you.
force,
and
yeah.
I do
yeah,
think
it felt
that's
forced. It
I
always
do
felt
think
forced.
that's a massive thing why she failed, and I think that I mean, I'm not a political dude by any means. I think the mixture of not knowing who she was, and then when she was apparent, it seemed like this is it. Do not, whatever you do, Kamala, do not go out of this, please.
This is the box. I need
This
to
is
stay
what
in.
we have sat for
You
you.
can't be that way. Like, I
Right.
mean, and that was the beauty of Obama. He could mix
man.
it
He
up
could
at
connect
so
with
many
anybody,
levels.
anyone.
You know, and even you go back to, you know, and I do think he's essentially an idiot, but George W. Like, he had that kind of, like, goofy side to him that was a little self-effacing.
You feel like he's a human. Like, he's
That's
been
it.
through some
That's
things.
it.
Kamala felt very, I don't want to say this because I'm white, but she felt very privileged
Yeah.
in a sense. You know what I mean?
I mean, privilege, I kind of felt just stiff.
Might be the
I felt
it
like,
might be the bad word, but you
yeah,
know.
no. I felt that she was not the type of person you could just drop in a situation. She's gonna figure it out, you know. Like I mean, I still remember, like, back in the day, because, like, you know, presidents I kind of remember, it's aging me, but like Ronald Reagan, he was like a former actor, you know, in actual movies. He had, even though he was kind of like physically had, like, as an older dude and kind of stiff, he had a quick wit about him. You know, he got shot, and then, like, he had, like, he made a joke about getting shot, like, later. It's like a loud noise somewhere, and he made a quick, spontaneous joke about it. That stuff in traditional old school politics was important. You know, like, and I remember Bill Clinton, like, he went on, like, Letterman or someone was, like, playing the saxophone. I'm like, this guy's gonna be president,
Dude,
playing the saxophone?
I'm having flashbacks of, like, her drinking that beer on TV and all the things that just seem so
odd.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be a fucking weirdo. Like,
can be
I think
oddball.
that lit the middle and the right side on fire,
yeah.
and that was the deciding factor. Personally, that's what I think.
Now, do you think they can roll her out next time?
No.
You can't. Like,
You
can they take that
no,
chance?
Not at, no.
I think it's cooked.
You're done.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even sure who they're gonna roll out at this
You
point.
said there was another guy that was very interesting, right?
Did I?
I think.
I can't
yeah,
remember.
Yeah. And I forgot the name, but
I kind of like Cory Booker to a degree.
I think that's the guy.
He played football at Stanford. You know, he also, like, he started his, like, political career in, like, New Jersey. Like, in the trenches.
Yeah.
Like there's a documentary and he's like running for some New Jersey level position, and he's like literally, this is like a Stanford educated football player. Like I think his parents are like, like have some some history behind them, and he's like campaigning against a guy in New Jersey that looks like a fucking pimp. And like you're just in the trenches, like fighting. Like he's been everywhere, And now he's been a senator for a while, and I like him. He's engaging. He's solid. He's not like he doesn't blow me away, but the way that you do this, and you go back to like Obama gave like a keynote speech at one of the earlier conventions before he was a candidate, and it put him on the map.
Yes.
And you're like, this is a guy, and he was elegant and smooth and all that stuff. And it's like, that's how you build it. But we're in a different time, and that's what people miss. We're in a dark place because we don't have those standards anymore. Like you have a guy that does not have those standards. And he's just the basest, filthiest motherfucker on the planet. And he has sycophant followers that ignore all that and vote for him anyway. And that's what we have. And you had 70 million people do that.
And they're quiet. Like
they're
for
loud,
the most
they're
part.
Loud and they're quiet. They're loud and they're quiet.
The loud ones are the loud ones, but they're not whatever. 80 million of loud ones.
No.
There's I was shocked that she lost because her campaign was so strong and so like Kamala everything. There was like I didn't expect for him to be with the consistent voting again this time around, because the first time around was a bigger. It was a more larger than life type of campaign for Trump. It was more. You've seen it more. It was more in your face.
If you're an idiot.
No, I'm just talking about.
But that's the fundamental thing, and that's why I don't respect anybody who's voted for him.
Yeah.
Because you take a guy that is literally like just a lying sack of shit, and he's done a lot of shitty things, and you just vote for him anyway. Like, you just choose to ignore whatever you need to ignore.
And then what do we do
to vote for him?
What do we do about these debates? Because he didn't perform well in these debates.
But that's
a shit show. He
changed the politics forever because there's no standard. You're not looking for a presidential type of person, a person of high character, good education, success, destiny, any of that. You just have this ancient, angry, foolish white guy who talks like a 5-year-old, and all these white people rally around him because he dog whistles to him. The Make America Great Again, make this shit white as we could be. That's the message. That's what that is.
That is like a dog whistle.
It's 100%. That's all he does.
Yeah.
And you listen to the people that vote for him. They don't talk in sentences. They talk in like Fox talking points and buzzwords. Immigration. That's all they say. There's no nuance to it. Like, no matter who's the president, we have immigration laws. It's not like we don't have any laws until this fucker comes along.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But they will just simplify it in this childish, rudimentary way. He is like, from a psychological standpoint, if you read Malcolm Gladwell, he's like the Blue's Clues guy. He speaks at a low intellectual level that dog whistles to ignorant, uneducated white people. And they lap it up. They love it.
Agreed, man.
Well, one thing we love is Royal13thebrand.com, one of our trusted and loyal sponsors here. If you use promo code Bubba Pink, you could be fresh heading into the winter here. All right. Once again, Royal13thebrand.com.
There's no winter clothing.
I need to. I know. I got lazy and I need to redo
This is all like midsummer stuff.
But they
right
have
now.
winter clothes up now on the site. Okay.
Give me a hoodie, man.
Yeah. I'll switch up the pictures. We are getting a little chilly here. Not necessarily here in Florida, but for our listeners elsewhere. All right. Let's get to back to a couple of sports topics here. Okay. If I can find it, let's start with let's start with our good old buddy here, man. Doc Rivers, okay? Doc Rivers was the coach of my favorite team, Philadelphia 76ers, and now has moved on to the Milwaukee Bucks. And new team, same old Doc.
I beg to differ.
Baron Davis is saying
we
said this is worse.
We have never seen a Doc this bad. No, I mean I'm not saying that lightly.
Yeah.
Like literally they were first place in the Eastern Conference when they fired Adrian Griffin.
Yeah.
And the record is horrific. Like through the end of last year and the beginning of this year's, what is it, 1-5, 1-6?
It's gotten really bad, and
Yeah.
And you got Baron Davis saying that the Doc Rivers team is a beatable team. I don't care how much talent they got.
Do you think he's just soft?
I don't know. Here's the deal. When I used to coach at Winter Park High School, and I coached his oldest son, Jeremiah, and Doc was coaching the Celtics at the time, but he would periodically come down to Florida. And I'm not gonna lie, like he's one of the most impressive guys I've had the pleasure of meeting. Like when he's talking, it's like it's captivating. He just drops knowledge, and he's got like a wisdom about him. There was two instances in particular. One time we were just sitting around a gym, and he was explaining like basically NBA team hierarchy. And it was just like he was basically saying like on every team you have like 2 or 3 guys that are allowed to kind of do whatever the hell they want on offense. And everybody else, you're either shooting open jump shots or like layup dunks.
Yeah.
And it's like
the Warriors.
It's like you have like and every good team is structured that way.
Absolutely.
And the bad teams, like they're not clear on that, or they don't have the guys that could do that at a high level. And like it was way more to it. But like I was kind of like mesmerized, and it like made such an impression. That was literally almost 18 years ago that I had this conversation. I still remember it quite well. And then the other thing is we had the guy I coached, we were there for 2 years. The first year we were okay. We went into the summer and we're getting ready to start the second season. We expected to be pretty good, but we had some tension among the guys. His son was among the tension points. We had like a parent-player get-together at somebody's house. And he we're talking to him, and he goes, "Hey, can I just talk to the team? Would you guys be okay with that?" We're like, "Man, sure, why not?
Right.
You're coach of the freaking Celtics, And so like he pulled everybody upstairs, and he just kind of attacked the group, but like in a tactical, smooth way, where he confronted his son, he confronted the guys that kind of were on the other side of the beef, and he kind of used other guys that were like kind of like lesser players minutes wise, but like he used them to kind of like make points. It was like masterful. Like you're watching him work this, group of 10, 11 guys, and you're just like, shit, this almost feels like you're in a movie and somebody's like breaking something down. So I've always been impressed, but I think that you get in a situation in life where like your own history wears you down. And he had obviously the title in 2008, but he's had so much playoff failure that I think his personal baggage becomes the team's baggage, and he's just not in a good place anymore.
You think it's a respect thing?
That they don't respect him?
Yeah.
I think
they respect him.
They respect him, but I think it's not in the same way that it might have been earlier in the career.
Well, let me explain, because I'm on the opposite side of the paint. I think he's a shit coach. And Jeremiah got mad at me one time.
I did not say he was a good coach or a shit coach.
I know. He knows basketball. That's the point you're basically trying to make. And his son, I put that and I said it while he was coaching 76ers. I got pissed, and Jeremiah got mad at me. And but that's the truth of it all. There's two things that he's bottom 5 at in the NBA in coaching. One is adjustments. He just won't do it. He has no idea what that means. And he comes into a game with the game plan, and no matter what is going on the God's green earth, he is not deviating from that plan. If it works, great. But if anything happens, he's not deviating from that. That's number one. Number two, he's tied to old guys for whatever reason. And even though you can see it when you're watching, there's one guy who solidified this, and this was Tyrese Maxey, who literally came out and said it on a platform and just said, he basically stunted my growth. He just, we had he was playing guys. You know, it was like the first guy was the 37-year-old the shooter. The name is on the tip of my tongue.
PJ Tucker.
Pause. No, it was a guard. It's a guard.
Oh.
And basically he was playing him over Maxey because Maxey was a rookie, but Maxey's just way better, and just would not get him on the floor. Until the guy got hurt. We talk about this in other sports of my other teams. But he stunts a young player's growth that is better than the veteran guy. But he just loves his veterans. And what that does is it makes your team slower. That's why Doc Rivers' teams are never top 15 in pace, because he loves older, slower guys.
Let me ask you guys a question. It's definitely for you as a coach. See, as a fan, when it gets to this level, I always wonder how much influence does the coach's game plan have on guys when it's like you know who you're facing, you know what they're capable of. Why? You know what? Do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
I think I do. It's you look at it and it's like the NBA players, they know.
It's like a scapegoat to me.
They know everybody. They play against everybody. They're familiar.
And a lot of these guys came up AAU together. Nowadays, you know what I mean?
I think like professional coaching and high school coaching are completely different crafts. In professional or high school coaching, starting in the smaller, you're like teaching.
Right.
You know, a lot of teaching, a lot of how do we do this, why are we doing this, and that. When you get to the high college and pro level, it's a more collaborative experience. Like you're going to, you're not just going to sit in your office, watch a bunch of video, come out to everyone and say, here's the plan. You're going to be like, you're going to be talking to guys like, your Kevin Garnett's or your Joel Embiid's and those guys and being like, hey, whatever, we got the Celtics tomorrow here, here's a couple thoughts I have. What are you thinking? This and that, and you're going to kind of collaborate with your top guys to do that. I think the role of the head coach, though, is you have to be a good partner and create a narrative and a positive environment. Because where these guys get killed is they lose the faith of the top player or two, and then they're done.
Yep.
And so you really got to be like a people manager at a high level to keep those bigger guys engaged and on the same plan with you. And it's a give and take. You got to like kind of accede to certain things that they're going to want to do at times, and then know and have the relationship that like when you need to kind of step on something and have it your way, you can do that and you'll get a response.
Right.
And it's a real give and take. To me, it's a complicated art to coach at that level.
Yeah, and also sometimes the players do know, but a lot of times it should be the coach's job to make certain adjustments. Like for example, and this wasn't Doc Rivers. This was a coach before him. It was Bud. But Jimmy Butler was destroying Milwaukee in a playoff series, and Giannis never guarded him. And Giannis took it upon himself after the series was over. And was like, I probably should have guarded him instead of keeping Chris on him. But as the coach, you're watching from the side. You have to say,
Why
Giannis,
didn't you make that call?
Giannis, you get him.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving this up to the players. Like that's,
But I still in that dynamic because there's going to be, there's going to be moments where like coaching a guy like LeBron will has probably said many times, it's like you'll be in a game or situation and he's guarding Bubba, but you're hurting him, and like he's just going to go to the sideline or just point at you from the side and go, I'm getting him.
Yeah.
And then you let that go.
Yeah.
Like, because and from my perspective as a coach, when somebody calls for something, they're invested. They're going to be committed. Like the worst feeling you have as a coach is when you're kind of drawing up something or you're given an instruction or an idea to do, and you just can feel like they're not interested.
Yeah.
They don't trust it, and that's that thing. And one of the things, I can't remember which person told me this though. Oh no, it was Mike McDaniels, the Dolphins football coach. He's like, cause he's Mike McDaniels.
I love that guy, by the way.
Yeah, he's really cool, but he's not like a player.
Right.
And so he doesn't come at it like Doc might, is like, hey, I been in your shoes or whatever. He has to come at it a different way. And in one of the interviews I saw with him, he's like, the first thing I have to do is convince a professional player that I can help him make money.
Yeah.
He goes, I got to be able to give him something, a technique, a something that's going to make him money. And if I do that, then he's going to buy into me.
Right.
But if I'm trying to do stuff that's not helping him, I never get the credibility, I never get the buy-in, and I'm done with
It's a
that
value
guy.
thing at that point.
That's it. You have to bring value to the table, or what role are you doing there?
Got it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, another thing that's not necessarily his fault. So you got Damian. It's not his fault at all. Damian Lillard is on this team here. So I think that. Oh man, I lost money on that bet. All right, so Giannis and the Bucks front office bears blame for this Damian Lillard move.
Yeah.
Another move that Pink and I, again, from the beginning, we said it just has a low chance of working. It didn't see it working. But offensively, Dame is having a good year, but the thing isn't offensively, is how much they lost, defensively. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to give you a quick example of that. So, for example, right now, Damian Lillard is averaging 28, basically 27.6 and 7 assists. You shooting 40% from three. You step back and say, "Damn, that's a good season." Dame's having, right?
Yeah.
He's having a good season. But it's not. It's not just that. It's every point guard that they're going against is having career fucking nights because Dame cannot move on defense. You have Darius Garland in the last game. Darius Garland goes for 40 points. You know what I mean? Darius Garland is a solid point guard. He's not a 40-point per game guy.
But you could just look at Dame Lillard, like, move. Like, and I'm not even talking in full game. You watch him walk from the bench to the court. He doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a fluid, athletic person. And that's one of those things that, like, age does to everybody. But what you, like, as you get older and you lose kind of natural energy, natural flexibility, you kind of hone in on, like, the technical things that you can do very comfortably. Your shooting, your dribble moves to get to your shot. You can lock those in like unbelievably precise. But it's the fluidity, which is more the defensive end, where you're getting it, you're going one direction, you're recovering to another, you're whatever. That he doesn't have that. I mean, he's kind of like a parked car.
Yeah.
He's like sit in the corner, shoot.
Yeah, but that's it.
Just don't even run down the court.
You almost do like hockey, where he runs in when they get the ball and have somebody else run in on defense on the other end. But,
another quick one here is I thought this was interesting. Start, bench, or trade with Tyrese Maxey, Trae Young, and LaMelo Ball. Trae Young, I haven't seen a game in a couple of days here, so
look at those ears.
Struggling for that name there.
Dude, I'm telling you
Those
what, that
ears
guy,
are
he
like,
can
wow.
do whatever he wants, and he's not going to be a good-looking guy. Like, he can do whatever he wants, bro, and it's just not going to work.
The only thing that makes him look good is the money.
Yeah.
That's it.
So what would you guys go with here as far as a start, bench, trade?
You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Non-pro?
Go ahead.
All right, so starting, I'm going LaMelo.
Okay, I like it.
I'm benching Maxey, and I'm trading Trae.
Okay.
My thought process on that is I think LaMelo is very good at running an offense, but also he can get me a bucket if I need it at any moment.
Yep.
Tyrese, I love his game. Sometimes it feels like it's too hectic for me, if that makes sense. Like,
I see that.
you know what I mean? Like, he might turn this ball over.
There's a frenetic pace to
and
what he's doing. I get
sometimes I want a little,
More
a
structure.
nice,
more composure.
nice. Sometimes we got to slow it down. Trae reminds me a lot, and maybe it's just because of the market that he's in and the team he plays for, but he reminds me a lot of like who's the guy the Magic traded for, that point guard from the Sixers. He was like
Fultz?
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of him. Like, there's so much talent there, but like we're just it's just never gonna connect. Like, Trae's had some crazy games. We can all say that.
Yeah.
But like, are you gonna build a team around that guy?
It hasn't worked in Atlanta.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just bad.
Exhibit
GM,
A, Your Honor. Exhibit A.
bad office or
Yeah.
what, but it just hasn't. I believe that a guy can make it work.
Yeah, I agree.
The guy can make it work. You know what I mean? So that's my thought process.
I'm gonna take a little bit different take on this. I'm gonna say start Tyrese because, again, he's not perfect, but to me he's almost like approaching the peak of his powers.
Yeah.
And he's on what up until recently we thought was a good team, but they should be good when they get healthy. I'm gonna bench Trae Young, and the real wrinkle is I'm gonna trade Melo, because he just needs to get out of Charlotte and save his career.
You're doing that as a
He's
moral thing.
yeah,
I love you,
he's
bro.
a
So I'm gonna do this.
Super talented guy, and he deserves to play in a place that's worthy of his talent. And it'll be a shame if his whole career passes and he's on teams like the
Can you
Charlotte
imagine
teams.
him playing in a massive market?
That'd be great.
I mean, that's probably one of the most marketable guys.
He's got to stay healthy. I mean, that he hasn't been able to really do that.
Regardless of
I'm
market,
also
I just
not
want to see
buying
him
health
with
in
a,
it.
Yeah.
I just want to see him with a better team.
Yeah, just
regardless
really
of
see
market.
what he can do.
Just to see what he can really
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
for
that's
sure.
when you see a guy have the opportunity to go through a couple of playoff rounds, like you really walk away from, I know what that guy is.
Yeah.
And Melo has never in his career as a pro been in those settings. And I'm not just saying get to the playoffs and lose in round one. Like, go 2 rounds, go a third round, and then we really kind of know, over that, 3-4 week period, like, oh, this is what this guy's about.
Man, can you imagine him on the Mavs?
With Luka, I know that wouldn't work.
With Luka and Clay? No, I just think it would be like this obstacle though. Like it's like a crazy.
They'd have to play with 2 basketballs,
Bro,
at least.
it would be like watching the Globetrotters or something.
It could
like
be that.
You
It
know,
could be that,
if
yeah.
it works, it could be insane.
Yeah, but they would need a second ball on the court at all times.
Absolutely.
It's too many guys running around there.
Just pulling half quarters.
What's your call, Bubba?
Oh, I'm starting Melo, benching Trey and trading Maxey.
Where are you trading Maxey to?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think he has a big enough cachet to get a return.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And,
I think all of those dudes.
I think the best version of Trey Young is actually off the bench. As a scoring guard
Like an
off
elite,
the bench, and that can lead the second unit.
An elite 6-man type guy. You can fill it up, do some playmaking.
Yeah, I think that's the best version of him on the
like
title
that.
team.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure he doesn't agree, but
Who's that, Trey?
Yeah. Coming off the bench.
Hey, I know, right?
What are we doing?
You know my name?
This ain't the Olympic team.
Do y'all feel like we got robbed of a really cool college thing with LaMelo? Cause
no.
Well, think of how cool it was with Trey at Oklahoma. Like it was this whole thing, and
That was a big moment.
you know what I mean. And like Steph at his college, like
I hate college
Davidson.
basketball.
Really?
Because, well, you said what you said about Tyrese Maxey, that frenetic
Yeah,
thing.
very much so.
I feel like all of college basketball is like dudes on Adderall just running around like madmen.
Yeah, I feel that.
And so it's like I don't really like it that much.
As a coach, I can see why that would just be like, bro.
I'll tune in. Like tournament time is always fun to watch, no doubt about it. But like, if I'm just like watching basketball, I'm gonna watch an NBA game versus a college game almost every time. The only thing that would get my attention is like, so I don't know if you're familiar with Cooper Flagg, who's at Duke
Yeah,
this year.
he's going
So
insane.
he's a big name. I'm gonna definitely watch some games when he's involved,
Right.
just to kind of gauge him a little bit. But if it's just a normal night like tonight, I'll go home and catch whatever the late NBA game is, rather than Gonzaga against whoever.
Understood. I just think those moments are cool as shit. Like
Yeah.
Steph at Davidson, Trey at Oklahoma. Shit, even what was the brother's name, bro? That were at Oklahoma.
It's not Blake. You're not talking about
Yeah,
Blake,
I'm Blake and his brother when they were at
Blake Griffin,
Oklahoma.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah,
shit was
yeah.
cool as
Yeah.
hell, man.
when there's a big story, Zion, like if it's
Yeah.
a big, I'm invested watching.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Cooper-
LaMelo could have been that.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. If it's not a name, I'm not interested in
Yeah,
watching college
yeah.
basketball. That's the only thing about
Yeah,
it.
and
Like, I'm gonna watch Coop this year.
I'm gonna watch him, and then I'm locked in on Connecticut. I love Danny Hurley. He just cracks me up.
Yeah.
Did you see like those videos of him? He's like at practice, just freaking out about stuff. So he's doing some sort of drill where he's taking a ball from a manager and he's making a pass, and like the manager's kind of not paying attention. He's ball. He goes, what are you doing? You're daydreaming. Like he's just like he's so intense about everything.
He's a maniac.
Yeah, he's
love maniacs, man.
he's ripping
I
a
love
ball boy
maniacs.
for daydreaming during a drill.
All right, a few just trending stories in the news here. All right, first here comes from Orlando. Have you guys saw this? Orlando's Bell's bondsman facing serious prison time for bonding women out in exchange for sexual favors.
I saw that, and I just want to understand how did that conversation happen? Did he just randomly choose women to bail out, and when they came to the office to sign a paper, he was like, "Hey, now you gotta
I think he's like.
How does that happen?
I think he's scanning those mugshots to try to find some proper candidates.
Yeah.
And then he reaches out to them, and it's like, and again.
But the bondsman, I've never been to jail. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
The bondsman have contact with the person that needs to be bonded out?
Yeah,
I thought a lawyer was the only one, or your family or something.
No, because a lot of times your family will have to kind of go through the bail bondsman, because they may not know like what the hell how this works, especially if they don't have like a serial criminal in the family. They'll be like caught off guard, like what do we do? And we got to bail him out, and so you'll go to like a bail bondsman. It's like, hey, what do we got to pay you to get our guy out?
Right.
So yeah, but I think. Again, any sexual predator to me, you're preying on a certain profile of person.
Down bad.
He's gonna down bad women. He knows they probably don't have the money, and it's like, hey, I'll take just give me 100 and a Hummer, and we're good. Instead of 300, and that's just.
Think he's a predator?
100%.
Think so?
Yeah.
I think
what else is that behavior?
I think to put something on
that I would
somebody
do.
that's down. What, bro? Somebody that's down bad, and to say, hey, I'm gonna hook you up, but you gotta top this thing.
Yeah, it's
That's
their fault
crazy.
that they down bad. It's not my fault.
Yeah,
That's-
but to
that's-
look for a way to
I
get
ain't
your
looking. It's my. I'm working. I'm doing my job.
But time out. Look at this guy.
Yes, that's another thing.
He's not getting it any other way.
I don't know.
That man ain't had free pussy in 4 decades.
Facts, dude.
I don't know, man.
Nah, it's always on the arm.
It's
Always on the arm. But that's his thing. He's not. Nobody's,
That's his thing.
nobody's jumping in his DMs.
Now,
to
what
do
is the
anything.
problem here?
That's what I don't understand the problem and the issue. Okay,
yeah.
I mean, what is he? Is it
it
because he's taking
prostitution?
money away from the business?
No, I mean,
Because the women are not paying in full.
when you're talking about these situations, I think he's probably paid. Like again, his profile woman is probably a woman that does not have any sort of local support system. She's on her own. She gets arrested. She doesn't have a boyfriend or spouse, a family to bail her out. So she's just kind of, what the hell am I going to do? And you prey on those vulnerable people, and you leverage this for sex. And it's like they're going to point to this guy and say, man, I ain't fucking this guy unless I have to. Like, this is not, I wasn't enjoying this.
When I first read about this, it said it was human trafficking.
That's what they try to twist it into.
That's what I don't understand. Because then that would be like me bonding you out by saying, hey, you got to suck Bubba off.
Yeah, good deal for Bubba.
Right, but that's trafficking.
Yeah.
What he's doing is
Well,
hooking somebody up and saying, you can pay me back by...
Well, maybe. I mean, to be fair, maybe it morphed into a couple
Something
different things.
different.
Yeah.
Maybe again, he's asserting some undue pressure on some of these, women. Maybe it's not just, hey, I'll give you a discount if you do this. It's,
Or it could be like, hey, you bucked on your bail, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it could be hard pressure. Hey, this is how it goes down.
Mr. Pink with the logic.
Yeah.
Now,
We're
what if
just over here trying to get topped off.
But he also, but to the trafficking extent, he could have gotten like some friends involved where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, pull up, I got this girl, whatever.
Now, what if you're saying they don't have a spouse, they don't have this or that, possibly? What if they do? And what if that guy, he knows?
That could be. He could have fucked with the wrong one.
Huh?
He could have fucked with the wrong one.
Not only that, not to get caught, but I'm just saying, what if over time you get a couple cool boyfriends, or for him they're cool, and they're like, well, if this is the only way my girl can get out.
Man, that is so sick to
That's
me,
a
bro.
sick
He doesn't
thing,
have
bro.
the money.
That's a sick thing.
But
Just
that's
one time?
No,
possible,
but
though.
what I'm saying though, maybe like again, how this maybe blows up is you kind of put the pressure on a girl that does have a guy in her life. He finds out.
Yeah.
He's pissed, and then he's like, and then she's gonna say, "Well, he forced me to do it."
What's a blow?
She ain't gonna say I voluntarily blew the
Dude,
guy.
you are nuts, bro. He said, what's a blowjob? Bro, if I find out my girl is topping this dude off to get out of jail, it's cooked, brother.
It's
we
over.
got a problem, dog.
She's trying to get home to you.
No, because I'm man enough to pay the whole damn bond.
She's trying to do whatever she can
But
to
here's-
get home to
here's
you.
the
Listen,
problem.
baby,
Here's
if
the
you
problem.
thought you had to do that, I failed you miserably, and you can go on.
She went to jail. She failed you. I mean,
Hey,
come on. Like,
that's a good point
what are we
because
talking about?
most women I would like to mess with aren't going to jail.
What about the Sanford girl that she didn't want to have to shoot the girl,
Damn
but
it,
she
dog.
shot her?
I'm not bonding
What
her
if
out,
she
and I'm
gets-
not asking her for nothing. The way that thing looks.
I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah, dude. The way that picture looked, I'm okay on that one. I will pay OnlyFans
Hard
before
pass.
I pay
Hard
that
pass.
ass.
No, I just think that it, whatever, however it started, it probably morphed into something where he kind of, put a little too much pressure, got his
I can
boys
see
involved.
this shit going down, bro.
Oh, I can too. You can just see the whole script. Oh, God.
Man.
Here's another weird one here. So 46 people hospitalized with food poisoning in Maryland after sharing meal prepared by coworker. And so I looked a little bit more into it.
Yes, please. Because how does this happen?
Can I just hypothesize before you tell the facts? I just love I can just picture the coworker being like proud of how they cook, and I'm like, oh, I can cook. I'm gonna get all you guys. I'm bringing in my special dish. Fucks up everything.
Just shitting everywhere, dude. The whole office.
The whole damn company's in the hospital with food poisoning. We had to shut down the office for a week.
Oh wow!
Couldn't
Everybody's out.
That's what
You
I'm
can't even
saying.
function as a company.
They get
saying.
fired?
Yeah. Then do you have a disciplinary penalty on the person for cooking bad? Oh,
Listen, I've worked in I've been working from home for a while now, but I used to work in offices with a lot of people. I just never eat other people's food when we're
I was
Yeah.
gonna say this is a very northern thing. That shit does not happen in Florida, dog.
I was gonna say I don't. Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people.
people bring in dishes.
No. But
for
it's always
employees.
weird because okay, so when we have office gatherings, I get Chick-fil-A chicken strips like a platter. No matter what the occasion is, there's going to be chicken. And the reason that is because I know I'm going to eat the chicken.
Yeah.
So I'll get the platter of chicken. And, inevitably there'll be a couple people that make something from their house. And guess what? That Chick-fil-A is gone. And other stuff, more often than not, it's like there's a lot of it left.
Still there, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people they won't touch it as a matter of principle.
Yeah.
What's the facts here, bro?
Yeah.
So
give us the facts.
this was a Filipino noodle dish called.
It doesn't get
panquito.
much weirder.
with a generous helping of cat.
They don't say whether this guy's Filipino. I imagine he is, or you know what I mean.
There can't be many non-Filipinos whipping up a Filipino noodle dish.
And it was actually at a seafood distributor. So I'm imagining some type of.
So they're already in the food industry.
Yeah, they're already in the food industry.
No
Okay.
shit.
And they were hospitalized with food poisoning this week.
Oh my.
More than 46. They took all 46 victims to the hospital, and but they ended up being in non-critical condition. They started getting sick about roughly 3 hours after eating the food. That's wild.
Bo,
man.
do you watch
Do you know how big of a dish that is?
46 people?
Bro, you purposely did that because that is a massive meal to feed 46 people, and you got them all sick.
Exactly. Unbelievable.
Dude, you must have not cooked the chicken or something, dude.
Do you watch the medical dramas like House and stuff?
Nah.
You don't watch any of it? Oh,
I'm watching in passing because some of the girls out.
So you could just picture there's this wave of people
Massive.
in the ER, and then they got their version of Dr. House out there going, "What's going wrong?" He dispatches a couple of interns to go check the factory and see what they can find some bacteria somewhere.
Oh,
Dude,
man.
how do you
Seriously, man.
successfully do that? That is a massive noodle dish.
The
And
business-
if you fucked up multiple times making that, whatever you did it multiple times.
If you think about it, because it's
Dude, you didn't make just one. There had to be multiple made.
yeah, you had to make multiple batches,
Fact.
and you fucked up every single one.
That's crazy.
It had to be an uncooked something or something, bro.
But better though, was there any worker at the company that ate and was totally fine?
No, all of them got hospitalized.
Oh, I was gonna say,
And now
'cause
they've
if you're
changed
that
their,
guy, if you survive, you're bulletproof, man. You can eat
and now they
everything.
changed their policies. You no longer can bring in food from home.
Man.
Yeah,
bro.
man.
You know you're a big star when you create a policy change.
Dude, I would never show back up, bro. I would never show back up. If I was responsible.
So, my cousin Carlton worked at this company over by UCF, and like one day, middle of the workday, a pair of dudes had smeared shit all over the break room refrigerator and left.
Yikes.
So they had to bring out the hazmat suits and everything.
That's sick, man.
It was incredible,
Bro, how does it? I just gotta understand the process of making a meal that did that. Like, I gotta know what he did wrong.
Oh, man.
What's his Instagram? Did he post pictures preparing the food?
Hey, this is my TikTok.
My coworker's gonna be loving this.
I was just talking to this girl, and they were having a potluck at her job, and she made a beef stew. And I'm like, what a safe thing to make.
Is it really?
Yeah, the beef, you can't get sick from undercooked beef.
Okay.
And you're cooking it in a crock pot for hours on end.
Right.
I mean, this is a safe thing to cook.
Okay, all right.
A fucking noodle dish. How do you... what do you do to mess that up?
That's crazy.
Dude, was there any protein in this?
I don't know. It
You
didn't
know what I
say.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm mind blown, dude.
It's interesting. The Golden State Warriors have beat the Boston Celtics tonight.
Have they?
That's a good win
You
for.
like the Warriors?
Nah, but I think it's cool.
Okay.
And it was a lot of news surrounding the game because the first time Jason Tatum is playing against the Kerr and the Warriors.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's supposed to be this.
Did he have a
beef.
bad stat line?
Huh?
Did he have a bad stat line?
No, it was solid. 32.
Okay.
32
Is there really a
points.
beef there?
Well, Kerr was the Olympic coach. And
Oh,
he
okay.
sat
I didn't
him
know
quite
if
a
that
bit.
was a real thing.
Yeah.
But I also
it was
don't
real.
understand why he didn't play.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, let me say this. I'm a massive Jason Tatum fan
Okay.
because I think the amount of pressure that he has come under and came up through, and he's done what he's done, I love him.
Yeah.
I think he's a great player, and I think he still has so much more time to be even better. But then on the other end, I think Steve Kerr and the Warriors are probably one of the best basketball pieces of all time. The way that offense was run and just the way they played as a team was beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, I understood that you can't play 11, 12 guys a game in a 40-minute game.
Right.
And, I know there's some politics on the roster. You're not going to sit your own guy, Steph, extraordinary periods of time. LeBron's LeBron. He's got to do this. And I said from the jump, LeBron really kind of put this together. And he's going to, you're going to play him with KD and Steph a lot just because that's kind of the crew. So there's always going to be a couple odd men out. And it's kind of I didn't necessarily predict that Devin Booker would be that guy that kind of becomes that fifth starter and plays a lot of minutes. And he did well in the role, but going into it, that could have been Ant Edwards, that could have been Jason Tatum, that could have been a couple different guys, and it just worked out where Booker got that spot. I don't know exactly what it was that the coaches love so much about having him there.
Because he's the better catch and shoot shooter than both of them.
But, but there is, from a coaching perspective, there's always little things that you appreciate and value that you're going to kind of say, yeah, I just like this mix. We're just better with this mix of guys than you would with other dudes.
Well, I think Jaylen Brown didn't make the team.
That's
the politics I'm in.
There's some political stuff there, but I also felt what is that role going to be? It was awkward with Tatum, but in some ways they probably would have been vying for the same role potentially on that team.
You just put him over White, and
Absolutely.
there's no reason why White is on the team over Jaylen.
And you know what?
no
What
role
we're
Jaylen-
talking
that
about?
White
We're
does
talking
as
about legacies.
Yeah.
That's a massive mark on a player that deserves it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And even
from
Jason
there.
riding the bench, he got trolled when you get trolled on the internet, it's over for you with that moment. Like, you lost that moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was his moment. He fresh off the championship.
Yeah.
You know, that's his moment. Everybody had that moment.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Jalen said he didn't even get a call. Like, that's nuts. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
that is. I mean, I would have taken it.
He would, to me, last year, top 3 players in the league.
Yeah.
Like, the way he performed.
And I can't complain about how Booker played his role, but I'm not a huge Booker guy. Like,
Me either.
He would have been a guy who would have easily.
You know
not
why?
even taken
Because he should have been taking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Book has the ability to score 70, 80, and he just doesn't.
Yeah,
That's why I respect Jason so much, though, is because we knew Jason could score 40, 50, and he does it multiple times. He does it on a roster that is full of players.
of talented guys. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, for sure.
that's Kobe-esque type of things.
Yeah. I do think Tatum doesn't do himself any favors when he leans too much into the Kobe stuff.
Really?
He comes off a little corny and weird.
I think it's so whack, though, because, like, you know, even for a guy like me that's never – I tried out for the 6th grade basketball team and didn't even make the first cut. You know what I mean? But, like, Kobe's a massive thing for my generation. You know what I mean? So I see –
I get the fandom, but, like, at the end of the day, like, you're a star in your own right, and you got to walk in your own space. That's kind of where I come from.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that
Yeah.
that LeBron about him.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
The thing is, he'll publicly do stuff. Like, he'll wear a Kobe shirt, or he had, like, I think going to the finals with the Warriors, didn't he post, like, a text message to Kobe or something, like, on his social media?
Yeah.
Like, that's the stuff that's just a little weird.
He's an emotional guy, man. He's a dad, too. He's a young father.
Yeah.
And he's doing a hell of a job at that. So we need to respect that.
There's no...
We do need to respect
There's
that.
no kid, because I was watching that Starting Five show.
Yeah.
There's no kid in the history of kids that's been on the NBA floor more than that guy at this stage of his life.
But I love that shit.
Oh, I do.
though.
I know it's cool. It's cool.
What, he had him at, like, what, fucking 20 or something?
Did he? It was pretty
It
young,
was
yeah.
like right into the league. Like,
But
oh,
dude,
shit,
that
I'm a
guy,
dad
like,
now?
he just has, like, the run of the house wherever he goes in an NBA arena. It's crazy.
That's
No,
awesome.
it is. It is. It is crazy.
It'll be very interesting to see, like, if he actually evolves into a player in his own right or not.
Jason?
No, the
son.
son.
Yeah. It'll be. I mean, because he's never going to be what LeBron is, so it's not going to be the same as, like, Bronny. But it will be fascinating because, like, literally as basketball fans, we've seen this kid from, like, probably 2-3 years old.
We feel like we've been a part of his
Right.
life, yeah.
You know, and then when he's, you know, whatever, 19, 20, trying to go to the league, play high college, whatever it is, it'll be funny to see.
Man.
All right. Pink, do you got any takes on this college football playoff? On the of course, yesterday they came out with the
Did they
the first,
come out with him?
Yeah. First
So
official
the 4 with the byes are Oregon, Georgia, Miami, and BYU.
for right now. Yeah.
Oh man, that's not great.
No.
BYU, good God.
Who wants to watch that, bro?
Who wants to watch them? Who wants to celebrate the Mormons? Who wants to do any of this? They don't drink or fuck either.
That's not true.
That's what they say.
Are they the ones who do a lot of anal instead?
Yo, isn't it crazy they got a Jewish quarterback? Did you see that story? Yeah, the quarterback's Jewish.
I didn't know that. Okay. Well, man, sure.
Might switch up.
Sure, he's drinking and fucking. So, wait, my eyes are a little poor. Indiana, Tennessee, and
Yep.
then is that Ohio State and Boise?
Yep.
Yeah.
Texas, Alabama in a rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, they didn't play each other yet.
Not yet.
Not
no.
yet. Okay. And then what's that? Notre Dame and Penn State
Yep.
Yeah.
in the top. I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know anybody who's, like, lacking. I think Miami's a bit of a fraud. I don't think that they'll
Amen on that, bro.
win. They're too sloppy of a team. I think Cam Ward's fantastic, but he will give you a turnover or two. But defensively, they're not very good, and their offensive line is not very good. I think when they play these upper-tier teams, I think it's going to be a little bit more than they can chew.
Could potentially have a loss already, by the way,
Yeah.
too.
I'd be happy to see the Boise State guy get that opportunity to compete in the playoff. I think that'll be fun. Hopefully they do whatever it takes to stay in that space.
If they win that game and he performs, does that secure the Heisman?
I think these games will be played after the Heisman's awarded. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
So whack, bro.
I would think so. I know they have to start it earlier because it's more games,
Yeah,
but still, I think it's still
that
it'd be
Heisman
after
usually
the Heisman.
like that week right after the
Finals.
conference championship
yeah.
games. And then I love the Indiana coach. I'm all on board for Indiana, so I'm riding hard for them. Who's coming out of Colorado's conference in this?
That would
BYU.
be yeah.
Oh, they're in that conference.
Yeah.
Does Colorado play them, or no?
No.
Okay.
Well, they'll see them in the championship.
Oh,
game, right?
if they were to make it to the championship. And Bubba, you said last week if Colorado were to win out, they'd get
They
in
still
that
need
play.
help. They still need help.
Oh, I thought you said if they won out, they'd be able to get in the conference final.
No. They still need help.
Okay, all right. Texas Alabama is a big one. I think Alabama's showing some cracks though.
A lot.
Yeah, I always hate Ohio State.
Amen. Talk to me, brother. I'm listening.
If I'm coming through the brackets here, I'm riding Indiana to a Final Four spot.
That's a fandom. Thing.
I got Texas. I got Georgia, and I hate Ohio State. I want something bad, but like, look at that lineup. They got to beat Boise State and BYU. I mean, they might as well play Edgewater and Dr. Phillips to get in there. I can't. I don't think you could keep them out of that. But then I hopefully they crap.
I'm gonna say this: the unfortunate thing is the two best teams are on the right side of that.
Yeah,
and that's Georgia and Texas.
Yeah,
I think they're the two best teams in the country and will be at this time.
Yeah,
so it might switch. I think everyone else on that is an absolute fraud. Tennessee's a fraud. I'm a massive Gator fan.
Tennessee's
I'll wear that.
Yeah,
we should have won that game by a lot of points. Yeah. A lot of points.
I came in the next day and told Pink that.
Yeah. A lot of points.
Yeah. I feel
Boise State has yet to prove anything against anyone.
Yeah.
BYU, that's a weak conference in my opinion.
I agree.
Oregon has a couple games they should have lost.
They have. But they did get the big win over Ohio State. It's kind of their.
But I think Ohio State's a fraud too. So it's like,
I guess though, like the toughest thing to factor in this is how the conference title games are going to
impact.
Out.
Yeah,
because I theoretically
it's really early right now.
I guess you could potentially have like an Ohio State Oregon rematch, and then maybe Ohio State wins that, and then they're in the preferred spot.
Instead, yeah.
And then the SEC, like who's got?
But Penn State is in that too, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. So yeah, they could potentially be in that.
This is already too
and
confusing.
Indiana's undefeated. So you got 4 Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
And 4 SEC teams.
Can I say a conspiracy theory real quick?
Go ahead.
They're always pushing the Big Ten. They push the shit out of the Big Ten as if the SEC isn't just that much better.
Yeah, no,
but they say the same thing about SEC. They're like,
bro,
but I mean,
the SEC.
Yeah.
But we can just look at the proof.
But
in
try,
the pudding
the,
right
the,
there.
the proof in the pudding is they've done it way
a
better
long
level.
time. The SEC has been great for
sure.
a very long time.
Yeah,
like Penn State plays Texas, that's a blowout. Penn State plays Georgia, that's a blowout. Indiana plays Georgia and Texas, it's a blowout, favoring SEC.
Yeah.
Ohio State, I think the same thing. Oregon, I think Oregon is the softest college football team out right now.
They might be.
I think if you rattle, and I'm partially a UCF fan too, so it's kind of like F Dylan Gabriel a little bit.
True.
But I think if you rattle him, he's cooked, bro.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
If he gets hit one time, he's cooked.
Yeah. But the SEC is the year that they're weaker. This is the year to get them.
That's what they say, but
I don't think so. And why I say that, because with particularly the addition of Texas, like that's they're losing to each other.
That's my point.
They're
like
not strong teams. Georgia is not a strong team, man.
But we can say
Beck
that
is
because
not. He's not that good.
Beck's turning it over for sure.
He's not that good.
Yeah.
No, they're the same team as Miami to me. They're a stalemate. Man.
Hey,
Georgia's not that good.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Georgia's not that good. Man.
I'm a Gators fan. We could have won that game. We don't lose DJ.
No. We win that game with DJ.
Are you a Gators fan?
Yeah.
My dog. What's up, baby? DJ. You know what I'm saying? DJ was cooking, baby.
But Georgia is not that good. Texas is better.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
But they lost at home.
Yeah, but
my point is this.
And that was a big loss too.
Quarterback was injured, like his other things.
I feel like I feel Texas and Georgia are probably the 2 best teams in the country.
Agreed.
They're not perfect teams. They're not all-time great teams. I'm not telling you that. But I think this particular year, I think Oregon and Ohio State are probably a level below, and then you're kind of looking, what happens with Indiana when they play another
teams.
top team, and like Alabama's shaky.
I don't think Alabama ends up in the playoff at the end of the year.
Well, that's what I was gonna. I would be shocked if this is accurate. I feel like there's gonna have to be
There's going to be changes.
some losses here, and this will change to a degree.
Well, and then what? You have to have Texas, Georgia come out the same side of the SEC, don't they? Because Oklahoma's in the West.
Well, no. The SEC now is not divisions anymore. It's one.
I didn't know
monstrous-
that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
This is the first year that
Oh,
it's been
that's
that
whack.
way. So I'm assuming though that right now Georgia and Texas have the inside track to be in the championship game. Am I wrong?
Yeah, they should because
Okay.
Alabama has lost to
Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost twice now.
Vandy-
And Tennessee has a pair of losses, right?
Yeah.
And
No,
LSU
Tennessee has one loss.
I hate
Oh,
that
they do
Tennessee
only have
team.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Tennessee only has one loss.
I don't like Josh Heupel. I don't.
to Arkansas,
Ugh.
Okay.
but they still got to play Georgia.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a loss.
and
That
then
quarterback is a turnover
LSU's
machine.
got 2 losses.
LSU has
They
2.
might still, I think, have an outside run at this. Maybe.
LSU has 2 losses
Yeah.
to USC and to Texas A&M. They still got to play Alabama.
Right. Right.
And,
Well, see, that's the thing. One of those is going to have 3. This seemingly projects that Alabama's winning that game.
yeah,
But if it goes the other way, then maybe
they're
LSU's
out, and
sitting
maybe
in that.
LSU replaces.
Yeah, yeah, and then that'll be the thing there. Well, because the reality is this: you're going to have multiple 2-loss teams in here, because the SEC runner-up is going to be a 2-loss team.
no matter what.
Yeah, so nobody's undefeated in that
I
conference.
think this is such a great thing for college football, though. You know what I mean?
It's going to be like so. 2 things I think it's going to come down to 2 things: quality of games. Like the games have to be good when the playoffs starts. You can't have a lot of lopsided.
I think
games.
those are good games, though.
They feel like they should be.
Yeah,
good,
true.
But in
And then
practice,
when you
they
get
do.
on the field,
And the other thing, football's a different animal than basketball, but can you get a team to go on a run? If we look at this, can you get
Indiana
like Tennessee or Indiana to make a run?
or Penn State.
And maybe win 2 or maybe get to that final, and then you're like, oh, shit.
Now it's a great thing
Yeah,
for college football.
because then it'll be that thing where, just because of the whole seeding and ranking thing, it'll be like college basketball. People will not watch or care particularly, but all of a sudden, if Indiana wins 2 of these games and they're in the Final Four of the final, there's going to be just people all over the country rocking with Indiana,
Yeah.
just because it's
Just
underdog
I love
story.
that. I love that
Yeah.
because then it opens up the whole NIL thing for colleges like Indiana.
Yeah, you
I
get a
think
playoff
so.
appearance.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now
You know what
you're-
I mean?
For sure, for sure.
And that's really what's
it helps on all fronts.
cancering the
And-
game.
And that's what, honestly, that's what they're banking on. That's what they need to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if not, if they get blown out by a bigger team and like you said, then it's like, well, what was all of this for?
Right,
Yeah.
that's
You
the
could
thing.
have kept it to the BCS.
If you have 1, 2, so you have 4 of those early round games. If those are if 3 of those are bad games,
Yeah.
it's gonna have a weird feel to it.
It is.
But if you have 3 of those that are good games and maybe one's out of hand,
You're cooking.
gonna have really good energy
Yeah,
moving
you're
forward in the thing.
You're cooking oxtails then.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
not Cambodian noodle soup.
Jeez, bro.
Oh, it's Filipino. Philippines.
Filipino. Yeah,
Oh,
gotta get
yeah,
it
my
right,
bad.
man. All right, Beck. Once again, tell them.
I guess General MacArthur wasn't coming back for that.
Once again, tell them where they can find you, and give them one song to find and research for those who haven't heard you.
Man, I would say, well, you can find me everywhere at ABEC Music. I think right now my hottest record is called Sins. We sampled Panic at the Disco.
Okay.
The massive song they had, which still might be in trouble, but I'm gonna rock until they knock me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a massive record right now I have. Definitely go check it out, man.
Sins. You see, that was my point last week.
What?
Get a sample.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
rock
yeah. You rock
until
it out,
something
rock till-
happens.
yeah, till it
You
goes
know,
off.
I was telling them.
You're right.
Yeah, you rock it till something happens because yeah, they can knock and then they can do this and they can do that down
But
the line.
that could potentially carry you to
But
a
it could-
level of audience
yes.
that you
Well, it's
have
going
never
to.
reached before.
You're gonna be talked about.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the
And so
thing.
even if you
That's what you want. Even if they come later.
Yeah, even if you got to pay up later.
Yeah, come take my whole publishing. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit at that point.
I'm a motherfucking star.
Yeah, after this this one, we're good, dude. We're good.
Damn it, that's all I was trying to say.
All right,
I
we
swear.
gotcha. You just needed him to say it for you.
Yeah, that's all you need, man. All right, man. We'll catch you guys next week on the bench.